chosen one. This June 16th will be like a movie. But not just any movie, the kind that begins in sorrow and ends in glory. The kind where the main character faces loss, rejection, betrayal and defeat. But just before the final scene, there's a divine plot twist. This Sunday will carry that kind of glory. Just when it feels like all hope is slipping through your hands, just when the storyline seems too broken to recover, heaven will invade the earth. Divine timing will collide with human pain, and something supernatural will break forth. Pay very close attention. This is not a casual moment. This is divine orchestration. The kind of moment that prophets dreamed of. The kind of moment that destiny has been waiting for. Listen carefully. This is not just a message. It is a revelation straight from the throne of heaven. If your eyes are on this screen right now, know that it is no accident. God himself led you here. He has something to say to your spirit. And here is the word of the Lord. This day will mark the turning point for many. I, the Lord, have chosen this time to reward the quiet faithful, the forgotten warriors, and the hidden intercessors. Their hour of remembrance has come. This is for those who served silently, who wept privately, who obeyed when no one noticed. God is shining a spotlight on you, not for vanity, but for vindication. You are about to experience the moment where everything changes, not because you fought for it, but because heaven decreed it. So before we go deeper into this prophetic message, I need you to take one bold step, not for me, but for your own soul. Like this video and subscribe, but only if you're ready to trade pretense for repentance. Only if you're done faking strength and ready to walk in real surrender. Drop a comment below and tell us where you're watching from and what time it is where you are. This isn't just engagement, it's holy alignment across nations. Write your warmest wishes and include the number 99. Let's energize the atmosphere with the power of belief and collective agreement. And if you're giving through the pin in the comment or through super thanks, understand this. You are not donating to content. You are sowing into the soil of revival. You are part of a movement that is restoring the holy fear of God to a generation drowning in compromise. Now let us slow down, go step by step, line upon line, precept upon precept, because by the end of this, even the confused will walk in clarity, the timid will rise in boldness, and the hopeless will believe again. And let this final word burn into your spirit. Heaven remembers you. Let this word burn into your spirit. Heaven remembers you. God is not random. He is a God of precision, purpose, and prophetic timing. Ecclesiastes 3:1 declares, "To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven." To man, days may come and go like numbers on a calendar, but in the mind of God, certain days are marked. God assigns meaning to moments. He attaches divine weight to specific seasons. And when your spirit is tuned in, you'll begin to feel the shifts, the subtle tremors of heaven preparing to invade earth. These are not just emotional stirrings, they are signals from the Spirit saying, "Get ready, this day has been set apart." Think of the day Moses encountered the burning bush. It was the day everything changed, Exodus 3. Or the day David was called from the field and anointed by Samuel, a shepherd became a king in waiting, 1 Samuel 16. Then consider the day Jesus rose from the grave. Time itself split between before and after, Luke 24. These were not ordinary days. They were prophetic intersections where destiny shifted, purpose was revealed, and history bent under the weight of glory. And that is what June 16th is for you, if you can discern it. Don't just see it as another Sunday. Recognize it as a doorway, a holy collision, a moment heaven has been preparing for you. Let's slow down and unpack this phrase. This June 16th will be like a movie. What do we really mean by that? Think about how movies are structured. Every powerful story begins with a scene of tension and struggle. Every movie has a beginning, and it's usually messy. The hero is confused, life is broken, there's pain, loss and hardship. That's where many of you have been, living in the opening scenes of your story. You've been praying in silence, sowing in tears, obeying without applause, no spotlight, no recognition, just raw, consistent faith. And while it felt hidden from the world, heaven saw it all. Revelation 5:8 tells us, "The prayers of the saints are kept in golden bowls. Every tear you cried, every whispered prayer, every private sacrifice, God recorded it. Not one moment was wasted." Then comes the next part of the movie. B. The conflict, where everything seems to fall apart. Have you noticed that in every great story, right before the breakthrough, there's a breakdown? The character faces betrayal. The dream is delayed. The odds stack higher. That's when things look hopeless, when even the promise starts to feel like a lie. Sound familiar? That's where Joseph was in the prison, where David was hiding in caves, where Ruth was in a foreign land, where Esther stood facing death. Even Jesus, the Son of God, faced abandonment and crucifixion. Every chosen one walks through this dark scene. But the story isn't over, because while it looks like everything is unraveling, God is still writing. He's never stopped. And the silence, it was part of the setup. Now we reach the turning point. C. The climax, the twist that changes everything. In one moment, Joseph is called to the palace. In one moment, Esther gains favor with the king. In one moment, the tomb is found empty. In one divine moment, the entire story shifts. That is what June 16th represents. This is not just another Sunday. It is a climactic moment in your spiritual journey. A day branded by heaven where God says, "Now it is time." He steps into your story, silences every voice of defeat and declares, "Cut. Now watch what I do with this life." The tears were real, the trials were intense, but the twist is coming, and when it hits, your life will never be the same. This Sunday the script flips, the scene changes, and glory takes center stage. Let's study this carefully. Joseph's life looked like a cycle of pain. Dreams in one chapter, betrayal in the next. He was thrown into a pit by his own brothers, Genesis 37:23-28, falsely accused by Potiphar's wife, Genesis 39:7-20, locked in prison for doing the right thing, Genesis 39:20, and forgotten by the very man he helped, Genesis 40:23. Years passed. The dreams seemed buried beneath the weight of delay and disappointment. But then comes one of the most prophetic phrases in all of Scripture. Then Pharaoh sent and called Joseph, and they brought him hastily out of the dungeon. Genesis 41:14. Hastily, without warning, without an interview, without approval from man. In one day, God flipped the script, from prisoner to prime minister, from overlooked to overqualified, from silence to sudden elevation. This is what June 16th will be for someone reading this. A divine reversal, a supernatural twist, a day where heaven will echo, "Enough delay. Now is the time." The dungeon couldn't stop it. The betrayal couldn't cancel it. The injustice only prepared it. Get ready, because God is about to rewrite your story, shift your position, and reveal the purpose behind the pain. The very verses that describe Joseph's downfall became the backdrop for his divine promotion. And soon, Genesis 50:20 will be your song. You meant evil against me, but God meant it for good. Everything is about to make sense. Everything is about to shift. And when it does, you'll understand why the wait was necessary. Let me teach you something critical. God will never promote someone he hasn't first processed. Everyone wants elevation, but few understand the preparation that comes before the platform. Before God puts you in front of people, he puts you through fire. Why? Because the weight of destiny is too heavy for untested shoulders. Many want the reward, but skip the refining. But God is not looking for performers. He's looking for vessels that can carry His glory without cracking. And that kind of strength is forged in private, not public. Let's look at the process. First comes the pain season. This is where God breaks the pride, burns away the ego, and lets affliction do its holy work. It's not cruelty, it's construction. "It was good for me to be afflicted," David said in Psalm 119, "so that I might learn your decrees." Then comes the silent season. You cry out, but heaven seems quiet. You fast, but nothing shifts. That silence is not abandonment, it's a test. God is watching to see, will you still worship when there's no reward? Will you still obey when no one's clapping? Then comes the obscurity season, perhaps the hardest of all. This is where you feel invisible. No recognition, no platform, no breakthrough. But here's the truth. God hides what He's developing. In this hidden season, He's shaping your soul, stretching your faith, building spiritual muscles you'll need for the weight of what's coming. You may feel forgotten by man, but you are being deeply remembered by God. And when the time is right, when your character matches your calling, the curtain will rise, and God will reveal what He's been preparing in secret. June 16th will be a day of divine interruption. Expect sudden opportunities to chase you down, not because of hustle, but because of heaven's remembrance. Doors you didn't even knock on will begin to open. Long-forgotten conversations will come alive again. Unexpected calls, emails, and invitations will arrive, not by chance, but by divine orchestration. Just as Pharaoh suddenly remembered Joseph and elevated him in one day, so will the Lord cause people to remember you. It's not about being seen by men, it's about being summoned by God. Heaven is issuing a command, bring them out of the shadows. Their time has come. This day will also carry divine instructions. God is not only opening doors, He's releasing blueprints. He will whisper strategies, shift assignments, and reposition you for destiny. This is not the time to be distracted. Be still, be sensitive, be obedient. Isaiah 30:21 says, "Your ears will hear a word behind you, saying, 'This is the way, walk in it.'" One instruction from God can change your entire direction. So don't just look for a miracle, listen for a message. The wind of the Spirit is not just blowing for comfort, it's blowing to direct your steps. Finally, prepare for prophetic reversals. Everything the enemy meant for harm is about to be reversed. What was delayed will be delivered. What was buried will resurrect. What was painful will become powerful. This is your turnaround moment. The betrayal that crushed you will become the platform that carries you. But you must be ready. Purify your heart. Let go of bitterness, secret sin, and the weight of the past. Burn every bridge of distraction that dims your fire. Fast, pray, worship, lean in. This is not hype. This is holy. God is moving, and you must move with Him. The prophetic stage is set, and the lights of heaven are turning on. The curtain is rising, and you, chosen one, are stepping into the divine scene that was written for you before time began. You are not a background extra in the story of God. You are not invisible. You are not forsaken. You are a main character in a divine script, one that has been unfolding in silence, in shadows, and in sorrow. But now, the silence is breaking. Now, the spotlight of heaven is shifting. And just like Esther stood before the king, just like Joseph stood before Pharaoh, and just like David stood before Goliath, you will stand in your divine moment. God has been preparing you privately for what He's about to do publicly. The tears, the rejection, the waiting, none of it was wasted. Every hidden act of obedience has been recorded. Every unseen sacrifice has been noted. Heaven has been watching while earth overlooked you. And now the King of Glory is saying, "It's your time. The author of your life is turning the page, and this next scene will not be written in pain, it will be written in power. This next chapter will not echo with delay, it will roar with destiny. Declare this with fire in your spirit and faith in your voice. This is my time. Heaven remembers me. My season is shifting. My delay is ending. God is turning my pain into power. I am stepping into the scene written for me before I was born. This June 16th will be the beginning of a divine turning point that will shock every enemy, silence every mocker, and glorify my Father in heaven. This is not drama. This is destiny, and it begins now.